We know that our residents are continually changing. We know their needs and their expectations are different, and that is particularly true with the upcoming demographic shift that we are experiencing right now.
Oftentimes, organizations have to find the right momentum for the right pace of change so they don't get too far ahead of themselves, their stakeholders, and their constituencies. It's all about determining the right pace of change.
Yes, there are investments you have to make, and one of them is redoing your website every 3 to 4 years, just like, buying a new laptop. How many of you really are still working on a 4 or 5-year-old computer? Probably nobody out there. And it's $35,000, $45,000, but it's a brand new platform. So you need to start budgeting for that.
That wave of seniors it's not just going to be a big population. The adoption of using the web, mobile, email, social media, all those things are going to be much higher. The penetration is going to be much deeper.
All organizations would desire the senior living dream team. We understand the challenge of attracting these teams, and so we've chosen to build teams with new criteria. We're working with our human resource group to provide effective searches and outstanding onboarding, and we're collaborating with our management folks on leadership development.
And when we go through the design process, we create a very detailed space program that has every space labeled for exactly what it's supposed to happen in that space. We need to stop purpose naming every room. We need to create more flexible spaces and allow communities to create themselves.
For years, hospitals have looked at senior care and said, there's elements of the senior business that makes sense, but the change in healthcare has brought on an element that has kind of changed the paradigm to where now there is an economic incentive that hasn't been there in the past.
The appetite for high-yield senior living debt in the fixed-rate market is still really, really high. We've got new buyers in the market, so that obviously creates a much broader base of buyers, which in the long run is very healthy for our industry.
Earlier in the year, money was flooding into these transactions and other forms of municipal finance, but at what amounted to really ridiculously low, all-time low rates. And as he just mentioned, we've pulled back to what would have been record lows 2 years ago. If you just eliminate those last 2 years, we're back to very attractive, relatively low fixed rates.
So we try to say, okay, well, how do you put all this down? How do you make this formula for success? And there's the equation. There it is. We've all been waiting for this for how long? And finally, somebody has revealed it to us. Here we go. So the V there is for differentiation, which is those things that make you different from your competitors. The C there is what your competition does. And everything that you and your competitors do the same subtracts from your value. So if you are exactly the same in terms of entrance fee, in terms of apartments, in terms of meals, maids, linens, transportation, security, utilities, activities, property tax, insurance, and health care, yawn. I can get that anywhere. I can go down the street. You got to be different. So the difference between how you're different take away all the things that are the same is your value proposition. That's the numerator in that little equation. The denominator is the capital T divided by the little t. And the capital T is talent. Oh, now we're just going to get touchy. It's our salespeople and what they do and how they act and how they're paid and how they're motivated and what are their smarts. And are they thinking, and are they thinking about the good of the organization, or are they thinking about the fact that I got to go home and take care of my kids? We got all kinds of issues here. But the fact is, you got to find the right piece of talent and you got to get it on there. You divide that by their ability to overcome the customer's tolerance for higher prices. Because is anybody building this lower than the competition? Now, we're going to blame the bankers for this, of course, because they're here. But nonetheless, it's the tolerance for higher cost. So it's talent that overcomes the tolerance for higher cost, modified by the differentiation and how you are different. And then the marketing message. And the marketing message is all those things that combines into that, which are phrases and multiple conversations and media and direct mail and community outreach and social media and seminars and parties and balloons if you have to. But that's it. That's the formula for how you influence those customers.